Welcome to episode 369 of the show. So, we're going to continue today in the same spirit as we were yesterday, and we're going to be looking at the relationship between content creation, copywriting, and sales. Now, these are things that we are not unfamiliar with because as event industry professionals and wedding industry professionals, we engage in a lot of content creation. Wedding photographers are creating photos, wedding planners. You guys have to come up with lots of promotional copy for the gram or for website. Let's see, what else? We all have to engage in a bit of copywriting when we put stuff up on the website, or we're putting up Google advertisements, Facebook advertisements, stuff like that. We always have to, looking for ways to craft the right words together to get people to buy. So we engage in all these activities, whether online or offline, in our bulletin advertisements for those of you who advertise in churches, or copywriting when you produce brochures that you're going to take along with you to wedding shows. And then, of course, those of you involved in other businesses also involved in the same sort of thing as well. Whether you're going to be attending Abuja International Trade Fair or Lagos International Trade Fair, or whatever kind of expo or physical activity that pertains in your own business. So we're all engaged in these sorts of activities. So let's try and figure out today what the relationship between these activities are and how they inform one another, and if sales skills are going to come in handy when it comes to content creation and copywriting. Now, content creation, we tackled some of this yesterday. It's for awareness. So no need to belabor that since we went over it a bit yesterday. Or at least I hope I went over some of that yesterday. So content creation is mostly for awareness, but copywriting is different, because even though you might put some of these things in the same space, you put your content online and you're using your copywriting skill online. And it's the same whether you're putting content out in magazines and newspapers. You'll find that content creation and copywriting are different because the focus is different. So when you're putting out content creation, you want people to be aware. But when you are writing copy, it's because you actually are trying to make a sale, or you're trying to make people to take one concrete step. So for instance, this podcast piece that I'm putting out today and the blog post that I wrote earlier, that's just content. So it's for awareness. So it's for awareness. I want people to know who I am, what I'm about, but I'm not necessarily asking you guys to pick up the phone, call me, and have me to be your sales trainer or to provide sales consultancy services. And it's also the same thing with my other podcast, the So You're Getting Married podcast, which is aimed at people who are getting ready to walk down the aisle. So it's mostly for awareness, and I'm not asking for people to pick up the phone and call me to be their wedding photographer. So that's the whole idea behind content. But now copywriting is different, because with copywriting, you're trying to get a sale, or you're trying to prompt a certain course of action. You want people to do a certain thing. So that's the reason why when you hook up with a copywriter and they're helping you craft something for your advertising campaign, you will notice that it's going to have some catchy stuff, 2 for 1, if you buy now before January 31st or whatever. They're trying to get you to do a certain thing. So content creation is awareness. It's a long-term play. But copywriting is to make a sale. Copywriting is immediate, because you want people to do something right now. So, just to reiterate, content creation is air cover, and air cover is good so that people know who you are before you start the conversation. Now, this is essential because people buy from people that they know. So it would be best if people know you, and it's something that wedding photographers can relate to. In the beginning, nobody knows who you are, so every single sale is a slog. But eventually, you've been in the game for a bit, a year or two, there's a little bit of buzz. Well, buzz or no buzz, or people know your name. You're not exactly a non-entity anymore. And so you can walk into a place and you announce yourself, I'm Kunle Creations Photography or whatever. And people are like, oh, yeah, I know that name. And then it makes the conversation a little bit smoother. And it's the same at bridal fairs and What else? And then when people happen to call into you online, or maybe they run into you in person, they're like, so you're that guy, Kunle Creations. Oh, okay, I like your work, blah, blah, blah. So that's the whole aim of content creation. And it's good because air cover really, really helps with the sales process. If you're an absolute stranger, then there's no familiarity, and you're behind when it comes to the credibility game. So content creation is good. So whatever it is that you're doing, wedding photographers, wedding planners, who else? Whoever it is that is listening to the podcast, keep doing what you're doing for content creation. It might seem like a lot of hassles for now, but it's going to pay off in the future. It definitely helps. So keep on that. So copywriting. So I've spoken a bit about copywriting, and I said that copywriting is focused on the now. You want to close a sale now. And because of that, people have described copywriting as sales practice when you apply it to text, when you apply it to written words. So whether it's over the internet or on the blog or your flyers or your newspapers or your sales brochures, basically when you're using copywriting, you are keenly aware that you're using sales skills because you're trying to move people to take one form of action or another. So how does copywriting work? It works because it's targeted to a specific audience who have a specific need, and then you have a specific call to action. That is when you want people to take the next step. So that is how copywriting works. So remember, it has to be targeted to a specific audience with a specific need and a call to action to take the next step. So that's the reason why, let's see, for wedding planners now, some copywriting flair would be something like, and this is something that Abuja-based wedding planners use quite a bit. Let's see. Are you getting, that Instagram post which says, are you getting married between March and November 2022? Call now for 20% discounts off. Yeah, something like that, basically. Are you getting married between October and November of 2022? Call now for 25% discount. Okay, maybe I could have come up with something much more creative, but that's the only thing that came to my mind at the moment. But you can see that it's targeted at Abuja brides getting married in 2022 between the months of... what months did I say? Between the months of October and November, or whatever months I said earlier. So you can see it's specific. So the whole idea is that anybody who picks up the phone and who calls is going to be an Abuja bride who is getting married within that time frame. So you know that these people have a definite need for what it is that you're doing. So if your campaign works well, people getting married in Enugu are not going to call because you put it there that are you an Abuja bride getting married between so and so. And then people getting married in Abuja but getting married in February are not going to call. Maybe, hopefully, people getting married in Abuja but who are getting married in December or January of the next year might want to call to see how they can work something out. Like, will you extend this deal to me if I make a deposit of 50,000 naira or whatever? But the most important thing is you are targeting a specific people with a specific set of people with a specific need, and you're trying to get them to take an action. In this case, it was call now to get a 20% discount. It could be register online at blah 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 to get a discount, or it could be call now to have the premium wedding bouquet experience with celebrity photographer blah blah blah, but at 850k instead of at 1.2 million or whatever. Anyway, I'm sure you guys get the gist. I'm not a copywriting specialist, but I'm sure when you guys sit down with a copywriting specialist, if you're trying to come up with some of those campaigns, when you're trying to put stuff up on your Instagram, these are sorts of things that you'll be doing. And in this case, I hope the example was good enough to give you a sense of what's going on when it comes to copywriting. So, general content, like what we spoke about yesterday, 202 ideas about how to get your wedding to be the talk of the town in 2022. That's just generic. It's just general. It provides some air cover, and people can get to see that it was created by Kemi LLC Wedding Planners. But it doesn't ask for you to do anything specific. Brides in Enugu can read it and get value from it. People in Port Harcourt can read it and get value from it. People in Abuja, people in Lagos, people in Ghana. That's very general. But copywriting is really, really specific. Are you based in Abuja, getting married in so and so? Call to get the discount, call for this, call for that, text for this, register for that. And so that's the reason why a lot of the copywriting materials that you see and examples that you look at that you find online are going to have that next step. Buy now, book a call, make a reservation, call for inquiries. For those of you in Abuja, I'm sure you're familiar with Hilton Hotel. They do this quite a bit around the holidays and stuff like that. So let's see, what else? Okay, we're done with Easter. We're done with Valentine's, we're done with Easter. So what's next? Okay, I think Christmas is next. So it's going to be that thing. The Instagram handles towards December is going will start having posts like let me see. Based in Abuja? Question mark. Want a staycation? Question mark. Book now to reserve our executive suite at 30% discount. Pay 150k instead of 350, or however that works. So just pay attention as we're getting towards the December. 1 month away now. We're in April. Gosh, I can't remember what holiday is next. Okay, I think Ramadan is next. So anyway, pay attention to your Instagram handles. You're going to see lots of stuff. Copywriting, things being put into practice around the Ramadan holidays and other holidays that lie ahead. So, obviously, from what you've heard so far, these disciplines are very good. But eventually, just like I said yesterday, you're going to need some sales skills. Why are you going to ask, do I have to bother with sales skills if I have a good content strategy and if I have good copywriting campaigns or executing well? The reason why you need good sales skills is because eventually somebody's going to pick up the phone and call. Like the copywriting example that we gave, eventually an Abuja bride is going to pick up and call and say, oh, hi, my name is Kemi, getting married November 1st. I saw your promo. That's the reason why I'm calling. And then she's going to keep quiet because she is the potential customer. She doesn't know how to buy wedding planning services. So she's just going to call and announce herself and then keep quiet. You are the professional. You need to be able to know how to advance the conversation. And if you haven't bothered with sales skills and coming up with the sales process, then you're going to find yourself stammering and fumbling because somebody has picked up the phone and you're unprepared and you do not know what to say. So eventually, if all these things work out right, your content and your copywriting, someone is going to pick up the phone. Somebody's going to come to your office. Somebody's going to come to your store. Or maybe you've worked with someone already, you've executed, and then somebody has a customer service complaint. You need sales skills to be able to handle all these things. Because just like I said yesterday, when it comes to conversion is essentially a sales, is essentially preoccupation of sales. And what is conversion? Conversion is just moving people through stages. In the beginning, they don't know who you are. Now, they know who you are. You want them to raise their hand to show that you're interested. That's what lead generation and content is about. They raise their hands and then they pick up the phone and call, or you reach out. You want to now be able to figure out who is interested and who is not. Or as Abuja people like to say, who is a serious bride from the unserious bride. And then after you move them through that stage of who is serious versus who is unserious, who has a need versus who doesn't have a need, it's now who has the money versus who doesn't have the money, who can I help versus who can't I help, and then on and on and on, eventually to how do you get them to pay the deposit. So these are the concerns of sales, and that's the reason why, even though you have all these things locked down, you still have to worry about sales skills. Because with good content in play and with good copywriting skills in play, you still need sales skills to carry you the rest of the way. So thank you very much for listening to today's episode. I'm your host, Abuja-based sales consultant and event media professional, Tavishima Ayede. Thank you very much for your time and attention. I'll catch you guys at the next recording.